Okay, speaker number 4. We have Christina Hueschen. Christina is in the Biomedical Sciences program. Her advisor is Sophie Dumont. The title of her talk today is How to Build an Elephant. Christina.
Say you want to build an elephant from scratch, from just one cell. Imagine how many times that cell has to duplicate and divide to get from a one-cell embryo to an enormous animal. By my rough calculations, carry the 1, divide by 2, 200 million cells divide per second in the body of a growing elephant. So, the question of how to build an elephant is actually a question of how a cell divides itself from one cell into 2. To divide, cells build a super reliable machine called a spindle, which is made of stiff cables that literally grab your DNA, line it up, and then pull half the DNA into one new cell and half into the other. If the spindle loses grip of any DNA, new cells won't have the full DNA blueprint that they need to survive. Even a small mistake can lead to developmental disabilities like Down syndrome or to cancer. In other words, you should all care a lot about spindles, because without spindles, there would be no cell division, so there would be no elephants, or, humans. For my thesis research, I wanted to understand what makes spindle machines so reliable. And to understand any machine, you have to take it apart. So, one day, I shot a laser into a cell to cut the spindle, setting loose precious DNA, and then watched through a microscope to see how it reacted. Amazingly, that laser-cut spindle rebuilt itself within 30 seconds. This stunning observation raised 2 questions. 1, how does the spindle sense damage? And 2, how does it repair itself? Eventually, I figured out that one of the 2 fresh cable ends created by my cut, the one still attached to the lost DNA, serves as the alarm that alerts the spindle to danger. Then, the spindle sends out a repair team specifically to this end. Long, sticky molecules are the first to recognize the cable end alarm and grab hold of it. They pull in an army of tiny, 2-legged engines that drag the lost cable and DNA back into the spindle, guiding it home. This built-in alarm plus responder system allows the spindle to detect and fix structural damage, keeping hold of all our precious DNA. What I find most amazing here is that the spindle is a self-repairing material. Imagine if roads or buildings just fixed themselves up after an earthquake. Right now, inside each of us, 2 million spindles are doing just that, rebuilding and repairing themselves to ensure that they never make a mistake that might cause disease. That reliability is what builds an elephant.